Hey everyone, it's your old pal Kyuubethe3rd, and today we're doing a panel. Please introduce yourselves now. ZekeFreek.
Hey, I'm ZekeFreek. I have more followers on Twitter than anyone in this room. Praise me.
And we have Keikakukat.
Hey, I'm Keikakukat, and wait, he has more followers than me?
What? and last, but certainly not least, ChibiUFO.
Yo guys, I like the Madokas and I like the animes and I like a lot of things, so hopefully this will be good.
Yep, and today we're talking about the third recently released Madoka movie. So we're talking about that, and we're talking about our thoughts on it. So with that, let's get started. Well, to start off with this thing without spoiling, because we're doing a spoiler-free part. So in other words, we're going to go right into that. So, okay. My overall thoughts on it, I thought it was pretty good. And there were some other things, that were kind of little, I wouldn't say bad, but there were certain things about the movie that I felt that could have been either trimmed down or less pandery. I felt like the character of Nagisa Momoe, I felt there could have been a bit more development between rather than just like, hey, here's a cute girl. We gotta get those figures, guys.
Yeah.
So,
I'm probably gonna buy it anyway.
yeah, yeah. But overall, I thought the animation was solid and the symbolism and
Music.
hell yeah, Yuki Kaijira kind of does it again with with the soundtrack.
There were some Madoka moments, but it's Shaft. That'll get fixed for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, but sometimes that'll just happen.
Nowhere near the shafting we're used to with their TV shows, though.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, you won't encounter any like weird ass animation errors or shit like that. So, but overall, I really liked it. Despite I'm still am a little torn about the ending and all that stuff. And hell, even earlier today, I was kind of like debating if I really liked it or if it was just the Madoka fan Kool-Aid kind of just talking, going like, "Oh, I really liked it." But did I really like it?
I really liked it.
Personally, but overall I was like, nah, I'm reading too much into it. I really liked it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed it. So, Zeke, on
All
to
right,
you.
my turn. I was very meh on the movie throughout the first half, as I just kind of sat there going, "What the fuck are we doing? What is this? What is this?"
Yeah,
And
that was
then
cool.
this and then the second half came in, and things started to the ball started to get rolling on this, and I really started to get, oh, that's what that first half was about, and that's what the second half is about. And then I know the ending has been very controversial for many, but for me personally, I think this is probably the best direction they could have taken it in, even if it wasn't actually Urabuchi's idea. It was Akiyuki Shinbo's idea, and we'll get more into what exactly that is. But I thought it was probably the best direction they could have taken. I think as a film, the flaws are, again, that Nagisa is a rather pointless addition that probably could have waited until the inevitable continuation, and that the first half, even though there's a great in-universe explanation for it, and I get what they were trying to do with it, I think it was just a lot of padding and fan catering, and it went on too long, and it really drags the movie down as a movie. As a continuation to the show, it serves itself better, but as a movie itself, it just kind of dragged it down. So overall, very good, but I was good and I enjoyed myself, but I think it was also very flawed. So
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think it was a perfect movie by any chance of the imagination. There were some parts where I felt like, okay, that could have been cut down. And I will admit, as much as I found the cake song to be a little cute, I will admit I kind of felt a little bit of embarrassment, a little spaghetti.
I was
Spaghetti.
kind of. I don't know if it's just you feel more self-conscious in a theater or something when it comes to this stuff, but that cake song is like.
Ah, God. Oh, God.
I
That's
get the feeling
stuck
that
in my head.
I get the feeling that might have been a little more tolerable if I was watching it at home by myself. But
Oh,
even then it would have felt more pointless.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like "Holy crap, stop" or anything like that I'm around like a bunch of like-minded individuals, so I'm just like, what up? So.
Chugging beer bottles at the screen.
Here's the thing. When I was he did actually get beer, by the way. When I
Yeah, I
was
did.
sitting there,
Kind of
for some
sucked.
reason I was I was always thinking back to like, I bet somebody came here with their mom, and their mom is just sitting here just like shaking her head the whole time. Like that's the image I had in my head for some reason.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating if I kind of want to show the third movie to my mom because I had never really covered this. I was going to do a video on it, like my mom watching the third the first and second Madoka movies.
When are
I
you gonna get like a
personally,
camera? When are you gonna get like a camera up in her face, like reaction shots? Like,
oh hell no! I was going to do a secret camera
5
thing, but I
girls,
was
1
like,
gem.
oh damn no.
Somebody, I had a conversation just last night where the guy was like, if they lick each other's soul gems, is that oral sex or not? I'm like, well, someone did lick their own gem in this movie, so what
We're
does
not
that
going there.
imply?
Yes. Yeah, we're not going. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, let's not go
Yeah,
too
everybody
far.
say put your dojinshis at the door, please.
I'm not
Okay.
that kind of anime fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a
Zeke, do you
family
have anything
show.
else? Do you have
No, this
anything
is
else to add?
no. Let's move on to Keikakukat.
Okay, Keikakukat,
Yeah,
you're
I
up.
freaking loved that movie. I know, I
Yeah,
mean,
I loved it.
the flaws in it were just, as you said, Nagi said was pointless, but then again, she was barely even there, so who cares? The cake song, I was like, what the hell? But well, whatever. Explain why the hell that place was weird as hell. But I did like how as the movie was progressing and then explaining, I was like, oh, I like how I was realizing stuff as the same time the characters were. Although one plot twist I figured out before the characters did, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah,
I know what it is. Oh, I was right. But I
yeah,
definitely didn't guess anything else.
yeah. I was just like wondering, okay, when is that moment gonna
And
happen?
to be honest, the ending is what I only saw as the natural progression of that character and how I already interpreted her. What people say is out of character is something that's just like, well, really, that's already how I saw her.
Yeah,
I
like,
completely agree. Maybe even more so. We'll find out.
yeah. We'll see if that all holds up.
Uh,
You have anything else to add, Keikakukat?
Animation was gorgeous. The
Yes, it
fight scenes
was.
were jaw-dropping. Literally, I mean, I
Oh, that mommy versus Homer fight. Love
Yeah,
that.
surprisingly
yeah.
the movie didn't make me cry. The series did. That's not a detractor from it or anything from it. There's just a
Oh, I
the
cried
movie.
for sure.
Yeah. He says I didn't see him cry, but me and Kyuubethe saw it together, by the way.
Yeah, we
Um,
did.
yeah.
Sweet.
He says he cried. I don't know what scene he cried at. I didn't see him cry.
I
I'm not a
won't
witness.
say which one it is yet
Yeah.
But
because like I
you
said,
know,
we're keeping this
I just
at
kind
the
of I bet whatever it was, I just stoically nodded like.
yeah.
why you crying?
Anything more to add before we move on to Cheebs?
There were at least three moments in the movie where I was on the edge of my seat and my
Oh,
jaw dropped and I must have looked like an idiot. But
oh man. Hmm.
there was so much applause at the credit, so it's like I'm guessing the people here aren't mad, so that's good.
Yeah, I wasn't even mad, but I remember there was like when we got to that post credit scene. I remember some people went, "What?" And I remember when I said, "I want a season two." We'll get into that later. Why I said I want a season two. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cheebs, do you want to go?
Yes, actually, I do. To conduct
Plot
my thoughts
twist.
of the to conduct my thoughts overall on the movie and my opinions on it, I think the movie overall it flows pretty decently. There's a few scenes where I feel like it sort of just ran on fumes where I'm like, okay, I think as strong as this series is and as its story and characters are, I feel like it's not so much getting redundant, but it's just sort of like I think we might be running low on the sort of like the point of the story. And but like aside from that, I think overall the movie's pretty solid. I didn't love it. I semi liked it. I felt like some parts could have been cut. I felt like some parts could have. I think some parts could have smoothed out a little better for transition. I
Mhm.
think the ending was a little strange. Where I didn't hate the ending, but I felt like during the last hour of that movie, there could have been so many better ways to have that ending than just the way it happened. I feel like there could have been so many shots where it could have just lasted on that shot and then just ended the movie, and I feel like I would have been happy with that. I think the post-credit scene, I'm not going to say what it is because I'm saving that for the spoiler section. I think the post-credit scene was actually what saved the movie for me. Because I feel like just in those few little moments of time of that post-credit scene, it did so much of what I wanted out of the movie, and it did it so well without fucking ruining anything. It did it perfectly. That was solid. I felt like the characters were very interesting for this movie to how they played out and how semi-different they were, but at the same time how much the same they were. I feel like the Notorious Cake song was a little odd where for the first few seconds I thought it was trying to go on some sort of form of symbolism, and I kind of dug it. That's why I'm like, alright guys, come on, let's go, chop chop chop, yeah, okay, I get it, this is
Hey, Kate.
yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I get it. This is supposed to,
yeah.
you know,
Where's
show
the
off
where's the real movie?
Yeah, totally. Like, all right, I get this. I think I get the symbolism where it's showing the innocence of these girls as their magical girl forms. Like, it shows them as them working as a team, enjoying each other's company, and just having a nice sort of a moment. But like, after a while, it's like, all right, guys, symbolism's kind of gone. Let's go. Come on, move it. Like, I could have cut that by quite a few seconds. I think the character of Nagisa was. I hate to be really harsh about this, but I think the character of Nagisa. I don't really necessarily hate the character, because here's the problem. She has no fucking character. I thought she was a useless waste of time that could have been something interesting, but they did nothing with her. Like, I can't say I hate her as a character because she fucking had nothing. She was just, oh, hey, I'm this character. I'm going to join you guys. Cool. Okay. And then, you find out some parts where that make her semi-interesting, but it doesn't necessarily, like, save her as a good character. Just like, oh, that was a boring character that had this interesting twist. Ooh, neat. And that was okay. I think how they showed Kyuubethe as a character was very interesting. I think that was one of the more interesting parts. I think how they showed the relationship between Mami and Homura was really competent. I think that was one of the stronger points of the movie. I thought that was surprising too, because I thought it would just be the same. It would be a bit of a repeat. It would be redundant, but no, they managed to show it in a new light, and I think that worked really well. That was surprisingly solid. I think the later half of the movie with how Madoka and Homura sort of interact with each other was really also compelling. That's what I think brought in the better parts of the movie, when some parts would kind of like it'd be sort of standstill and like, oh, okay, this is running on fumes. This seems like it's starting to really churn sour. But and then there would be this like compelling moment between Madoka and Homura, or Mami and Homura, and we're like, holy shit, this is what makes the series work. This is why people like this. This is so compelling. It would save it from like a really not that great scene, and I thought that was interesting. So overall, I think as a movie, it's alright. I think as like a continuation of the series, it's pretty solid. It could have been a little better. It could have been a little shorter, and I think the ending, while it's okay, I felt like it could have ended on a bit more of a, I don't know. I think for most of the tone of the movie, it was actually pretty harsh, and I think that worked. I feel like it could have ended on a harsher tone, and it would still have the same sort of effect. I think it's okay. I think it could have been much better. It could have been also a lot worse. As sort of a semi-grade, I'd give it a B minus, but it's a positive B minus, if that makes any sense.
Wait. We're giving grades.
Well, no. You don't have to. No, you don't have to. I'm just saying for my end. I'm not saying everyone else has to do anything.
The question is, when it inevitably comes out, will you buy it?
Yeah, I think we'll say that later on as the podcast. But that's pretty much the majority of my thoughts of the movie overall, without spoiling it and being vague. Yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts.
Yeah. As for me, like a whatever out of 5 I give it. I think I would give this movie, despite, its flaws and some of its, bullshit moments, I think I give it 4.5 stars out of 5.
Moving on to my 10-point system, when I marked it off on Hummingbird, I gave it a 7, which for me is well above average, and is usually a score I give something that is very enjoyable, but has one or more glaring flaws that hold it back. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
I didn't really think of a number coming into this, but is it okay if I give it like an 8?
For just,
Eight and
I'm
a
sorry,
half?
Give it a
interrupted.
letter instead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, give it
I would
a letter,
say, well, no, I just settled on a number. I'd give it, say, 8.5. I thought the actual characters were had that great Gen Orobuchi writing, still got everything right to me, even though, one thing we'll get into later, people said was out of character. I disagree. Obviously the only things I had problem with were scenes that were too long and just, overly long transformation sequence, but whatever.
Yeah, that was a little bad.
Those were scenes or choices or length of things, not the actual writing. Didn't have a problem with that.
But yeah, overall, I really dug the movie, and I thought it was worth, traveling 3 hours to Cleveland to see this damn thing, and really, I know Dad's not listening, but I'm just gonna say, you know what? Thank you, Dad, for bringing me up here. That was probably the best Christmas gift I could have ever gotten ever. So, yeah, with that,
No. It could have been better if you actually won a pencil board.
yeah, that's the only thing that sucks. Yeah, the way that Cedar Lee did it, I thought it was a little shitty because it's like, oh, you just gotta be lucky. Oh, that sucks.
Okay,
I kind of went.
can I tell them? Can I tell them my little thing where I put it in the wrong box? We had 2 theaters showing this movie at the Cedar Lee. I put it
Yeah.
in the wrong box because I thought that you had walked into the second theater, but you went in the first theater.
Yeah, I kind of I just went to the first theater I saw, and was it just me or just you? Did you think like the theater was like the theater screen was at an odd-ish angle?
Well, let me tell you, if you, the Cedar Lee is a very old theater. It's a matinee.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm
been
aware
around
of
forever. That's why it had the tight seating and the tilted theater and the very small concession stand and whatnot. It was just an older theater.
Yeah, and I didn't mind that. I kind of liked that aesthetic, and I kind of liked like how they like had this beginning sequence of visit our concession stand and no talking and all that stuff. Had this
Oh yeah,
odd
that was so.
retro
Mine?
Yeah,
thing.
it's much better than that stupid Regal Theater like riding on the movie reel train track thing.
Might as well tell you,
Yeah,
when you guys are done, might as well tell you my theater experience.
Yeah, same here.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. We'll go over
Yeah.
into theater experiences. Like our theater experience. I thought our audience was pretty chill, and they were pretty enthusiastic and pretty emotionally involved with the movie. So I really, yeah, I said earlier on Twitter that going to like the first two Madoka movies in Columbus, man, that audience I had, wow, that was awesome. Like we all kind of clapped when, well, since I'm going to assume you've seen the series, that part when Kyuubethe gets turned into Swiss cheese, everybody applauded. That was awesome. If I could ever like have a moment recorder in my head, I would just record that and just play that again. Oh God. Yeah, and that's one memory I will never forget. So yeah,
What would you
I
what would you
really
what would you rate the Cedar Lee Theater on your stupid 10-point scale? Apparently.
well 5 points. Well 5, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Cedar Lee, I like the theater. Everyone there was nice and all that stuff, and I just thought the screen was a little awkward, but with all things considered, I really dug the theater. I really like the old timey aesthetic. Well, then again, that's me being into old timey stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I assume your thoughts mirror mine.
Yeah, my only real complaint I think is that I thought the seat itself was fine, but the area in front of you was a little short.
Yeah.
I felt a bit cramped the whole time. I can't judge their food because I didn't eat any, but that's all I really have to
Yeah,
say.
I had their beer. Like it was a little thing called Great Lakes beer, and I'm like, ugh, I wish
Well,
they
that's
hadn't linked Yingling.
is it? Do you guys is that popular down where you are? Because that's popular up here.
I think that's probably more of an indie thing.
Yeah, you have to be like within a certain radius of the Great Lakes to enjoy Great Lakes beer.
Yeah, Great Lakes, Great Lakes Brewery. So okay.
Indie beers are a bit of a hit and miss. You can either find a really well-made one, or just kind of a cheap, quick buck sort of a one that's not that great.
Oh yeah.
Hope you love our beer review podcast coming soon.
Yes, but anyways, continuing on though.
Yes, I thought the movie theater was a very classy joint. Yes.
Anyways, continuing on about our movie theater experiences with the movie. Going on to I think Mark.
Yeah.
Who's that? Okay. All right. I went to the Alamo Drafthouse in Houston. That service was just plain phenomenal.
Nice.
Everyone was
Well,
incredibly.
of course, it's the Alamo Drafthouse.
I've heard very nice things about the Alamo Drafthouse.
The pre-show was hilarious and amazing. Well, maybe not ironically, played the opening animation to Lyrical Nanoha, then Sailor Moon. These weird ass Japanese commercials with a toilet on a motorcycle. I was like, oh, it's like
I was actually gonna do something like that.
And
nice.
the staff, because they had tables everywhere where you could order drinks and food, like pizza or chicken strips and their specialties and stuff, they would move with their heads ducked down, moving quietly so as not to block the screen, and quietly asking people if they need a refill and just trying to make it seem like they're not even there.
Oh, that's
shit. That's nice service. Jeez.
The audience was incredibly polite and stuff, other than laughing at scenes they thought were funny and clapping and stuff at scenes. Plus, with it being the Alamo Drafthouse, they knew to be polite. Before the movie, they showed a sequence with the gremlins on a theater on fire, being rowdy, then all getting thrown out, and it said like, "Be polite, be quiet, or we'll throw your ass out." And
oh wow! Did they show the? I remember. Did they show like the one where they there was this phone call of like someone's when they got kicked out of the Alamo Drafthouse for texting? They show that one.
Yes, and it also said, "Turn your phone off, not vibrate, not silent, off and away."
Yeah, Kyuubethe3rd, turn your phone off.
My phone was off. What are you Actually, my phone was in airplane mode. I put mine. Yeah.
It just said, if you want to report anyone being disruptive, put it on order form, and we'll come to the scene.
Oh, sweet. That's nice.
We'll come to the scene. Get it?
Well.
Movie theater humor.
No, none shall interrupt my magical girl experience.
Yeah, exactly. Who's gonna get out? Who's gonna stop watching the movie, get out of their seat, stop watching the movie, and write out a form? Who's gonna do that?
I will file a complaint with you, good sir.
And I want a refund.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice roll there.
But yeah, the screen looked great. We were joking when walking down a hallway. It's like, anime ghetto. We got to go to the back. But no, that was a really good theater. It wasn't one of the they didn't go to the cramped tiny one or anything. Every single seat was filled. So it did tell you to sit right next to your neighbor because literally every seat was taken, sold out.
All right, you Chibi.
All right. I sort of have the somewhat same experience as Mark, where my theater was a bit lower in quality because the theater I went to is a mall theater that's pretty decently old, but it's okay. It was super crowded. There was a long ass line of a very diverse audience. There were people who were younger than me, a couple, I think mostly some kind of 16 to 17 to 18-year-old teenagers, quite a few adults that looked around my age, 22, 23, 24-ish, a lot of ladies, a lot of women, and a lot of men, and it was really interesting, a diverse audience. It was just,
yeah,
and everybody was really into it. They were just going nuts talking about it while they were waiting to get their tickets, stamped and all that stuff, or, getting their tickets checked. And the staff was incredibly friendly, some of the nicest staff I've ever encountered for a movie theater. When everyone was getting their ticket checked, everyone got a small little, those silver packaged little things, pencil board things. It sucks. Sorry to hear that. But they were just handing them out. There was a giant bin of them, and second you got your ticket marked, and you're ready to go to the theater, they'd give you one like, oh, here you go. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. So I actually have an open mine. I'm gonna take a picture of it and post it on Twitter, and I'll check it out later, but I've been wanting to save this. But anyways, my theater experience was pretty interesting. The theater itself wasn't the greatest. Seats were kind of old-fashioned-y, not great seats. and the screen wasn't the greatest, but it packed the entire fucking theater. Every single seat ever was completely filled. I was lucky to get very good front row seats. That was nice. And everyone, the entire audience was extremely friendly. They were all friendly to each other. Everyone was quiet once the movie started. Everyone, all the audience, kind of had their own sort of forms of fun at watching it. Everyone enjoyed it. They laughed at some funny parts. It's not, no one exactly gasped, but they were like, whoa, like at a scene where like it caught them off guard. Everyone really dug the little intro. They dug the little the phone app commercial for it. They dug the little interview with the Japanese voice actresses. They dug that. It was really fun. Everyone really liked the post-credit scene, and that, like I said before, that saved the last end of the movie for me. That was really great.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, really fun experience. Probably one of the best movie theater experiences I've had in quite a long ass time. It was very nice, and the fans were some of the nicest people I've met in quite a long time too. I felt actually very emotional. It's nice to see that when you're in not so much a fan base, but when you go to a thing that does have a large fan base to it, or has a large crowd to it, they're all actually really competent, nice people that if you need help, they'll help you out, and if you just want to talk, they will talk to you and include you in your conversation. That was really,
that happened to me too.
really, really great. And hell, even the staff was super great about it. Like, I don't think any of the staff were exactly fans of it or anime fans, but they were really helpful and really dug it. Just really positive, just solid, great experience. So yeah, that's pretty much my theater experience with this movie sort of review.
I know Cedar Lee. I know they're apparently really enthusiastic about anime.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
They're like,
we had that
hey,
one guy.
Yeah, when you're in a theater that really does, appreciate that sort of stuff, whether it be anime or just any sort of animation or art films or whatever, that's nice. I think that's very nice when, when they appreciate cinema, whether it be, artsy, indie, whatever the hell, that's nice. That's really good.
Yeah, so much so that I think the guy said either later this month or next month or something they're showing Summer Wars at the Cedar Lee. I was actually considering about going to that. I was actually considering going actually.
That's a solid flick.
Well,
I think that's
in January.
I'm sorry. You on.
Oh, in January, the same Alamo Draft House I went to was going to show Evangelion 3.33.
Oh, nice.
Yo, you know what I really wish Aniplex would let theaters show or get the rights to is the Persona 3 movie. Really want that.
That could be interesting. My theaters, my city is going to be doing the Evangelion 3.3 interview thing, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm really looking forward to Ava 3.33, and I remember hearing that it caused, I know this is beyond that, but I heard it caused a lot of shitstorms, and I gotta figure out why this is.
I can't wait not to go way too far from the, just from the
scope. Yeah.
Well, then, just to say a really quick thing, I remember hearing some impressions off of the anime podcast and cast. Both Justin Savakis and Zach Bertsky were telling their impressions. They didn't go into spoilers, but they just sort of told what they saw of it, and it sounds exactly like what I want out of Ava. It's going to be different, but it's still going to be this intense fucking thrill ride and a very just, crazy thing to it, and I can't wait. That sounds great. I love the first two Rebuild movies. They were really well made. The first one's a great retelling of the first half of the series. Cuts the fat, does a lot of the good story parts and good character moments. 2 kind of diverges into its own thing, and it works. And 3, from what I've heard, is going to be even crazier, and that's great. But yeah, really just dug the experience, and last I heard, since it did so well, there's going to be some other anime showings in my city. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Evangelion review show.
Woo! Hey, I'm a huge Ava fan, so
I was the one who brought it up.
A lot of us Madoka fans are Ava fans because I know a lot of people like to compare this show to Evangelion.
Yeah.
I'm an Ava fan, so
do that often.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into Ava.
I don't want to just compare everything to everything else.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
I like both Madoka Magica and Ava. I can't compare them because I think they're
same here.
Different, even if they have to them. But
I did make the comparison on Twitter to Future Diary, and we will get into that. But other than that,
I'm not gonna make that comparison.
Yeah. All right.
It's okay.
No way.
That could possibly be for later. But anyways.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, do you feel like we can go into the spoiler part yet, or you feel
Well,
like
I got
is there
wanna
anything
say
nothing.
else
some
is there anything
non-spoiler
else we need to
things?
cover, really?
I think
Okay.
No, not for me.
I think we all sort of vaguely sort of reviewed the movie and our experience with it. So I think we might be ready.
So, okay, I'm only going to go by, the scenes that really striked me the most, and some parts I'm still kind of scratching my head over. Uh, what really was, I was spoiled on Devil Homura. I'm not sure if that's going to be the official name or Homucifer, how you
Homucifer,
want to say it.
dude.
She refers to
Homucifer.
herself as a demon in the official subtitles, but it was like Akuma or something. So the fan nickname right now is Akuma Homura instead of Akemi Homura.
Yeah, like
Really,
Akuma
like
really,
Homura, yeah.
Akuma
really.
mean
I
All
kind of
I've
like Homucifer,
like
to be
all
Akuma
I've
honest.
seen is
meaning
Homucifer.
devil.
Devil,
Yeah,
yeah.
which means devil in Japanese. Last I checked.
For
But
all
yeah,
we know, her real name, for all we know, her official name might just end up being Ultimate Homura.
yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, yeah, that also could be it. Yeah.
Or
Yeah, leading up to it,
like the Fallen Angel theme.
Mm.
I know like, a lot of people kind of criticized, Homura for kind of being like, people were saying, "Oh, Homura, what a bitch. I can't believe she did that. What a
Okay,
selfish little
this,
bitch."
yeah, that's where
But,
I was
for
going to
me,
say.
I was kind of like,
Well, let's go in
I
order.
Yeah, the
feel
thing is,
really
even
go on.
before this movie, watching the series, Homer always struck me as an ultimately selfish person because she got to the
Yes.
point where she no longer cared about anyone else other than Madoka. Yes, you're caring about someone other than yourself, but you've given up on everyone and everything else, and you're still being selfish through your love. Just because you
I
don't want
Like,
to just that person to be happy, you want to be the one to make them happy. You have to be the one to
yeah.
save them. You
I have
have
a
to be
yeah.
the one to
I have a way of looking at that, and it's that Homura doesn't really love Madoka. She wants to be loved by Madoka. Madoka happy as it is making Madoka think she's happy.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can claim this is all for her sake, and you're not really doing it for yourself, but you're still being selfish. And it's just this is the ultimate progression of that.
Yeah, I feel really flip-floppy on like, on how Homura turned out. I don't really I think cuz Homura I just think Madoka really meant something to Homura. So I would go out of my links, but I don't think I would ultimately, to my interpretation, screw Madoka over.
But
In a
does
sense, by like screwing up her god status and all
but
that
does
And
stuff.
literally
does it
trapping her in a world against her will. And when she starts to remember who she really is, trying to suppress her memories again. It's like, okay, she
Yeah,
doesn't
that was
want
yeah,
this.
that was
You
cold.
clearly do not have her best intentions in mind. You don't care what she wants at the slightest.
I will admit, I get a little in when people kind of see Homura as nothing but in her head, just going Madoka, Madoka, Madoka,
Yeah,
Madoka, and all that
fans
stuff.
and that stupid fan art of her like stealing panties and stuff, and then
Oh,
people
fuck
see that
that
and like,
shit,
so where's the
man.
episode where she steals panties? It's like, stop looking at the damn fan art.
God damn it, man. Yeah,
It's
shit.
can I
not what the freaking shit about.
yeah can I just
Okay.
wanted to point out that it is ultimately selfish, and I think does it really justify the implication that she's essentially screwing over the universe by enslaving the entire incubator race, because now everything's out of whack and entropy's going to come a lot sooner than it would have.
Yes, that is a question I had about the ending. That it was like I understood everything that happened in the movie, but now I want to question. Besides, are they now only fighting Homer as familiars because magical girls do still exist in the new universe? So what exactly do they fight? Since we do see Homer as familiars are there, but they're not entirely constantly aware of them. Kyoko was trying to feed birds that were clearly familiars that she didn't notice were.
Mhm.
Or and
Yeah.
furthermore, now what actually happens when your soul gem becomes completely tainted now? What happens to you?
Here's the thing,
Do
though,
you
is that
just like blow
I
up?
think the reason they didn't show any of that is because it demonstrates that Homura does not give a shit. She doesn't give a shit about any of that. It's all about Madoka to her. That's not to say that it won't be explained later. That's just to say that I think they made a point of
Yeah, I
not
kind of
doing that.
wonder if like, if there will be a season two. I kind of wonder like, towards like, I don't know.
Or a fourth movie. They could do either.
Mm, I don't know. We don't know.
Well, yeah.
Like, would it be too? Oh, we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get into that as it comes along.
What about you, Mark?
Are we still talking about that scene or something else?
I guess overall, overall.
I guess overall, like,
Yeah.
How about
since we can
freaking
talk-
Sayaka remembering everything, being aware, growing as a person, and
Yes.
accepting and being able to control her witch form? I wasn't expecting
that
a freaking
was
giant monster fight in this movie. That was freaking awesome.
You know what it almost kind of reminded me of, and I've never played the games, but it almost kind of reminded me of Persona almost.
Well,
like,
she did drive her sword into herself magically. Also, during the thing of summoning Octavia, I've never heard it out loud, so we don't know.
I just Octavia. Probably.
Notice it was all of a sudden monochrome and reminiscent of the Elsa Maria witch fight.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
Furthermore, her physical body still exists, and so the witch form looks like a separate entity that she also controls. So she doesn't just become it.
I really liked how Sayaka turned out here.
Yeah, it's like, Sayaka, you are now up on my list. I mean,
Yeah, she was freaking.
I liked her a lot. I liked
freaking
her a lot in the show proper, but I do like how she's just taken a level here.
I'm not going to say best girl, but it's like I always liked, I like all the characters in this, but I like Sayaka more now.
Yeah, I still think Homer is my favorite. Like, I mean, I have said, okay, I made this little joke basically saying that feel when your waifu becomes the devil. I remember I said that to one of my friends last night. Like,
that was
when I walked out of the show, I got DM'd my friend basically telling her that.
Oh, well, he told me that too.
Yeah, that I told you, Mark. All right.
Also, Kyuubethe's ultimate plan involving controlling Madoka, or the law of cycles.
Wait, I have a theory. I have a theory on that. Do you mind if I divulge that?
Oh, go ahead. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I understand it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I told Kyuubethe this earlier. Not Kyuubethe, but Kyuubethe. Anyway.
Yeah, Kyuubethe3rd.
That explains
you. Yep. Yep. That was it. No.
Yeah.
I think that this was all Homura's plan from the beginning. I don't think betraying Madoka was a whim or something she came up with, and it just always struck me in episode 12 how telling Kyubei about the old witch system was a stupid move. But now I see that I think she planned this from the beginning. She manipulated Kyubei into doing something like this so that to lure the goddess Madoka out.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you. Like, they kind of foreshadowed that. Like, remember, like, when she was, like, in the desert somewhere, and then, like, they showed, like, her big wings and all that stuff?
At first, I was worried because I thought
sounds interesting.
At first, I was worried about if the ending had been retconned and that scene no longer happened. But now my theory is that was the beginning of Homura as she was about to become a witch. Ultimate Madoka was about to intervene, and that's when Kyubei trapped her in that special field. He had a term for it, and that's how the third movie then immediately started there.
Yeah, and what did you think about what did you all think about the true form?
Though her clothes were different, I don't like the idea of Kyubei changing her clothes while she's unconscious.
Yeah, but what did you guys think about the true form of the incubators? Like how they're all just like an eye, and they kind of look like the unknowns from Pokemon.
Giant Kyubei eye in the sky, and we got to see a bit of his technology. And the idea that if we observe something, we can understand it. If we can understand it, we can interfere with it. If we can interfere with it, we can control it. That is just the extent of their science. They don't need theories. They only need to see it, and they'll know it, and and it's theirs.
Yeah, but I heard a theory that the eyes, those little things that look like unknowns are actually the incubators themselves. But the cat Kyubei, I'm gonna say it's a cat. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I thought like the reason why the cat form was put there is because they studied like how girls they like kitty cats and all that stuff.
Maybe they just watched Sailor Moon. Who knows?
One theory.
Like literally why that sort of works as Kyubei's character. I'm saving my stuff for later, but just saying this really quickly though, and on Kyuubethe3rd's theory about that and what he said. I think that also works too. That it's not even just like girls like kitty cats, but it kind of almost goes into that weird theory of like what a gender likes or what intrigues them. It's like, not only do they like kitty cats, but they like, super adorable, cute looking things, which I think draws attention even from the first episode of the TV series when what Madoka's reaction is to seeing Kyuubethe or that sort of thing. I think that was actually pretty interesting. But I'll continue on when it's my turn.
Yeah.
And furthermore, basically, if Kyuubethe knows about what could be with witches, he'll always go for that which will yield the most energy to fight entropy, even if that's not what everyone wants, and he will just do whatever it takes to go back to that old system. So Kyuubethe did not change in the slightest, and if anything, it's like he said something about being incapable of giving up once he knows an ideal solution. So it's just what he is, but at the same time, people are like, oh, Kyuubethe is definitely more sinister now, not intentionally, but action-wise, he was going to screw everyone over, and even though
Yeah, he kind of
he's
pulls
like,
kind
you
of
will
like a
become
HAL
like
9000
you will
extra.
become witches again. That's just what you're supposed to do. Come on, just let me do it.
Yeah, but I have a lot to say about Kyuubethe, but what I wanted to say. With Kyuubethe is a better solution than Homura because at least he has those noble objectives and he knows how the universe works. I said before in the pre-show that Kyuubethe does all the wrong things for the right reasons and Homura does all the right things for the wrong reasons.
Furthermore, Homura's actions has now made Kyuubethe believe you humans are too unpredictable, illogical, and dangerous. I never should have come to this planet.
Yeah,
I mean, to make Kyuubethe now decide, I want out. This is clearly not working. I never should have come here. And now that he's trapped here and has no solution, incapable of doing anything, well, way to screw the universe over, Homura.
That ties into my theory that Homura was manipulating Kyuubethe to get Madoka back from the start, which is interesting because it's the complete opposite of the show. Because in the show.
So that means wow, Homura was running a really long con then. If she wanted Kyoko, she was planning on Kyoko and Mommy killing her while still inside that field as a witch, saying like, "Oh, you'll never be able to see Madoka again, but at least I'll save her from being controlled by you." Wow, if that was all a lie, you're a really good liar, Homura. Especially if you just woke up from weirdo dreamland.
This big
you're
egg
insane, but you're smart.
Like that big egg dome thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a question though. When Ultimate Madoka was going for her darkened soul gem, Homura grabbed her instead and like seemingly split Ultimate Madoka into two beings. Well, does that mean Ultimate Madoka still exists other than the Madoka who is now trapped inside Homura's new world inside the Mutakihara city? Doesn't that mean Ultimate Madoka still exists outside that world, unable to intervene but still trying?
I don't think so, because Homura did exactly what Madoka did at the end of the series and rewrote all of reality. So I don't think any of that previous world, aside from memories.
So half of Ultimate Madoka's power is just gone now because Homura only took half of it. But if it was rewritten so that she still only has half that power. So like that other energies, dang, that's some serious entropy.
Yeah, and also just remembering something like Homer did say, "I didn't take all the power away. I just took a little piece of it." That's what if I remember.
I have doubts about that, and maybe that was just her justification for her actions or something.
I know, but if anything, that makes it sound worse. Just trying to justify to Sayaka, who somehow still remembers everything, and I love how she called her out on this and is like, "You really think this is for the best?" And Homer's just like, yeah, I don't, man, I'm probably interpreting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is your name Madoka? Oh, you can go away then.
Yeah, I'll just rewrite your memories. I don't give a shit.
I am the being that is known as evil. Yeah, she just became this cold-hearted ice.
Became? She was already cold.
Like, wait, God.
I think even Madoka was starting to remember and was like, wait, I wasn't. This isn't my normal form. I was something else. Homer, you did something to me. Homer rushes up to her, tries rewriting again, and is like, no, what are you talking about? Everything's fine. What are you telling me? It's like, oh my God, you're kidnapping.
No. You are. I have you now, my pretty.
You are smothering you.
You're literally kidnapping her. It's just a really, really big cage.
Somebody in TV Tropes once said, well, it's not like she brainwashed her to be her psycho lesbian lover or something. Like, she didn't need to. She didn't need to do that. She can just work her over naturally if she's trapped in this gilded cage.
Actually, if you look at the original series, the classrooms already looked like cages. Symbolism.
Oh, I've always wondered, what's with all the glass? Everything's made out of glass.
Yeah, everything's all glass. I never really got that at all.
I love the joke. I love the joke. Why are our classroom walls made out of glass? Wouldn't this make it really easy to cheat on tests?
Yeah.
Quick, flag me the answer.
And also, too, I always kind of wondered, like, is this really in 2011, or is this
I don't
like,
think
you
so. I
know?
don't think
Not
so.
movie 3, since Sao Tome mentioned even though the Mayan calendar has ended and the
So this takes place in 2013.
yeah, which is funny because the original
Was that
series
ever
did take
confirmed?
place. The original
No, I don't know. I don't. It was there was
no,
never a year.
no, you see, when Homer woke up in the hospital in episode 10 of the original series, you could see from the calendar, from the dates, that it was 2011. It's just that Mitakihara City is very advanced, it's a new city, and it's obviously fictional. So
Wow, Japan is awesome.
I know they
Yes,
have
it is.
laser keyboards, but that actually exists. They have awesome
Yeah.
payphones that just a tiny digital thing on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the laser keyboards, they actually do exist.
Yeah.
So you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I just
yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
Homura's explanation to Kyoko about the whole when still inside the dream world about how everything's not doesn't seem quite right. It's like, hey Kyoko, why did you come to this city? Oh, because the nightmares are. I came from Casamino. Wait, not Casamino. That's from Kazumi. Whatever that other city is where her father's church was. And like,
It was Casamino. She
oh,
did
I'm
say
sorry. I
Casamino.
almost mentioned the city from that spinoff. The just like, well, why'd you come here? It was like, well, the witches. Well, where are you? I mean, the nightmares. Where are you staying? Well, I'm staying with Sayaka. Well, I won't.
Ooh. No, I'm
Hey,
kidding.
hey, Sayaka has parents. You just never see them. I'm surprised they're cool with that. Shame we can't see them. But then again, that's not important. We had enough pointless filler in this movie already. The
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell Homer, hey, cut to the chase. Just tell her, are you sure you're not here because your parents are dead?
Yeah, or dead, or just in some different universe, and universe La La Land or some shit like that.
Oh, I
Or
know.
some
Or
or
the
some
scene with
alternative
the
retelling.
scene. I love the visuals and how weird that looked, but it took them way too long for them to realize, hey, we can't leave this city. What's going on? It's like, yeah, I figured that out 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it was like an infinite
Yeah.
loop. I was just
Figured
like,
that out 10 minutes ago.
what?
Okay, we'll get on this
I
bus.
think that was
Maybe
the
this
whole.
Did you?
I think.
I was just like,
Uh,
did you idiots forget what a witch's labyrinth looks like?
Well, they don't know
I
what
think,
witches
and
are.
also
Did
to say
Right,
this,
right.
since we are talking about spoilers in this particular part of this video podcast, something I wanted to say before my turn comes up is I wanted to just say, I just want to say this right now. I want to let all you guys sort of say your stuff, so when I get to my part, I'm gonna be kind of long-winded, but that's just what I
Well,
want to do. But
you've been quiet for a while, so
oh,
we'll let you.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I know.
okay.
That's I want to make sure you guys got all your stuff up before I get to my long-winded part. But anyways, what I wanted to say was, what I think is interesting is that I think that's half the purpose of the third movie in particular, is that it's like this fucking odd, psychotic, terrifying, endless loop, especially during, and you guys may or may not agree with me on this, but I think the endless loop thing comes in very strongly on the last hour of that movie, because seriously, once the girls all start to figure out, not so much Homura, but like Homura in her life and what's happening like with everything in this timeline, and what the scene between Homer and Kyuubethe in the last hour, I think that
oh
endless
god.
loop theory comes in like more and more and more and more. Like it almost becomes like every couple of minutes there's another there's another rebirth of this loop, and it loops and loops and loops and loops. And I thought that was just like, I thought that
Yeah,
was
that was
probably
pretty
How
cool.
many times can reality rewrite itself? Really?
no, yeah, totally. And I think that's what made probably some of the most intense and interesting like symbolism of it. Like that was like, wow, okay, this is where that shit. This is where I'll say like the positive of the series still stays strong. Is that like how that's fucking made into. I thought that was interesting, but that's just
I
my piece.
just
That you guys go on.
yeah.
Can I? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go next? Because I have something to say, but.
Like
You
I said
go
before,
ahead.
I want to make sure you guys all get your stuff out before I go on my
All
own.
right,
But anyways,
all
go
right.
on. Sorry.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about Kyuubethe and the theory I read regarding what happened to him in that post-credit scene you see him in, where he
Yeah,
looks
go
like
on about that. I'd like to
Yeah,
hear that.
Yeah.
the theory
Yeah, I'm
the
intrigued.
theory I've heard, and the theory I've heard people talk about, is that apparently Homura forced Kyuubethe to relive every single curse that every single magical girl on every planet and every timeline ever had to go through all at once. That's what I heard.
Another theory I had, besides the fact that
Payback.
she no longer has to treat Kyuubethe with any respect, I thought he was in physical pain. I don't know what Homer's been doing to him, but also I thought that there, I don't- I don't think there are any grief seeds or any kind of or grief cube things that were dropped by the race in this universe now. And I start thinking, I think Kyuubethe might be starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he was like starving. Like, dude, are you okay? Feed that cat something right away.
Feed your cat, Homer. Oh, jeez. But no,
Don't
like I
abuse it.
remember
Come
the
on.
one guy. There was one guy in our theater that shouted, "He deserves it!" when we see that end credit scene. Does anyone else agree with that? Does Kyuubethe really deserve what happens to him?
I told
Somewhat.
my brother, and he said,
In my
Yeah.
opinion, I think
More
somewhat.
or not.
Somewhat.
it's the same as trying to punish a robot. Can it feel bad?
I think it can because he well, even at the end of the series, he looked like terrified when Monica
He
made
did
that
show,
wish.
and
I
at the point where he was saying, I don't understand, while being killed by all the girls repeatedly, with the hundreds of them, and eventually regretting ever coming to this. And even Homura mentioned, wait a minute, you said curiosity is illogical. You want to observe this law of cycles thing. You're showing your own
that's
curiosity. Oh, wait,
that's
you
what
already
I'm
have
going
a
to.
plan. It's
I
like,
was I was I was
Kyuubethe clearly must have something in there.
I was
Yeah.
telling this Kyuubethe in this conversation earlier that I think this is for the next installment. This is going to signal some development for Kyuubethe, and that he's going to sort of divert from his race's ideals because of this. Because if he doubted the power of human emotion before,
Well, the problem
he's
with
not going to do
Kyuubethe's
it again.
race is Kyuubethe's race. It said that incubators are all one, are a single consciousness spread out across multiple bodies. One Kyuubethe is all Kyuubethe. There aren't
Well,
multiple
yeah,
incubators other than there's one in a single many bodies.
but that's kind of what I mean by this
I have many copies, as he said in
thing.
the
Yeah,
series.
I didn't phrase it that way, but that's kind of what I meant. Is I think they're going to start to change now, realizing Homura is a bigger threat than that, and she's completely fucking over the universe.
Well, the problem is, no matter what Kyuubethe's planet is, Homura's labyrinth can spread to the entire universe. So even that might be under her control. So it doesn't matter how far off the Kyuubeiths are. She sees them. She's aware of them.
She enslaved them apparently.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I was like, something's gonna happen. I mean, it's not gonna just end here. And when something does happen, I'm pretty sure Kyuubethe is going to be against Homura.
Well, against, and the idea of
Well, yeah.
the idea of Homer even saying that with Madoka when asking Madoka in the class in the school about like you think it's wrong for those to break the rules and that they'll eventually get what they deserve. It's like with an ideal like that, even you'll become my enemy someday. It's like, then what's the freaking point, Homura? That's all you want, and even she becomes your enemy. What do you even stand for?
Yeah, it's like at that point, you might as well just. Well, there's no point to like living for her now.
I wonder if she really meant that in the more literal sense, or
Yeah.
if she just sort of if she's just sort of musing.
One thing, I don't know if I remember it right. That's why I didn't quote it, because it was like, oh wait, maybe that's just something I thought she said, but she didn't. When Sayaka was calling Homer out on this, did Sayaka say that Homer is just as bad as Kyuubethe, or did I just imagine that?
That sounds like
I can't remember something.
I think she's.
It's not ringing any bells.
I personally think she's worse, so that may be affecting my memory.
Yes, but just because I think that doesn't mean
yeah.
someone actually said that in the movie. I'm not changing.
That sounds like something Sayaka would say, but I don't know if she actually did. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm probably remembering it wrong. If she didn't say it, she didn't say it.
Or no. I think she said something like, "This world is worse than the last one that Monica created." I think that's
which I remember somehow because I'm cool now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what she said.
Snaps.
You're the cool boy.
Yeah, I think she just said Monica's solution is better than hers.
It's like, screw the rules. I have love.
Well, I love her. I want to keep her in my domain and all that stuff.
I have you now, my pretty.
Notice how Homer called herself evil before any of this, so people were like, Homer is not evil. She's just she hates herself, so she would refer to herself as that. But
I remember. Okay.
She really plays the part well now.
Well, you want to know something? When I first started watching the series, I had a suspicion that Homura was evil. I thought she was going to be the big.
Well, that's how
evil
leads
big
on at the start
big
of it.
girl. So she was going to be the boss of the series.
Of course, she came off as a mysterious antagonist trying to kill the cute little white creature, and opposing Mommy, being standoffish with her. Of course, she seemed villainous. That was the point.
Yeah.
And then exactly. And then they tried to show us how heroic she was for her own reasons, and now it's like, well, she's villainous again.
Well, there was a thing about how love can turn into hate, and how Homura. People have compared Homura now to Lucifer because, as a fallen angel, they said he was kicked out of heaven just because of his own selfish love and how he loved
Yeah, I was going to touch
God
upon.
more than all the other angels. So it's like,
Oh,
Homura, if
yeah.
Madoka is God, Homura is Lucifer.
Yes.
So basically, Lucifer kind of wanted more of like God's power or something. Because yeah, I remember here's how I thought the movie was going to play out. I thought it was going to play something similar to Lucifer's story, something like that.
And people have said that Homura and Madoka both represent love, but in a different way. Homura is a selfish love, while Madoka wanted to save everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember that scene where
Heck, even
Madoka tells Homura that she loves
scene
everyone?
the scene in on the hill where it's like, well, don't you like all this? Don't you care about me and all this stuff? And she's like, yes, I couldn't bear to be separated from you. And then it says, and Tatsuya and my mom and mommy and Kyoko, and it's like Homura
Oh,
clearly.
yeah.
She's like,
And
no, what
Homura,
about me? I was just talking about me. It's like, well,
I think this can end one of two ways. It's going to end with either pussying out and Homura's going to realize her own fault, or it's going to be the most awesome villainous breakdown
Sasuke.
ever. Yeah. I thought it's going to be the most awesome villainous breakdown ever, and I'm going to be
I
so
want to see her
excited for
punch
that.
a planet and it smashes. No, 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 no. I'm not right.
Yeah, that'd be too DBZ esque.
No,
Right
this
there.
isn't Gurren Lagann. Not that I. No, not change the subject. Not change the subject. We're talking about Madoka here.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the Madoka that believes in you.
I was
But she's right here. I got her.
Yes.
Okay, don't believe that much then.
Give Cuba some damn food. Feed your cat.
Row, fight the contracts. Okay, anyway. Okay. Is anyone else got anything to add before I turn it over to Lechibi?
Let me see what else I was going to say. It seems like Mommy and Kyoko's memories have been totally rewritten, so now they're nothing more than characters in Homura's play. It's like, well, that's a shame. Looks like we won't get any more development from them unless Sayaka can break through to them the same way Homura already did to them in the dream world.
Oh, that's a long story.
So they still serve a purpose. So furthermore, I still want to know what they fight. I'm guessing they just fight Homura's familiars, but also is Kyuubethe. I wonder how the heck, because Kyuubethe would technically have to lie and play a part if Homura is enslaving him and forcing him to still make contracts with girls. If he would technically be lying now if he said, "I want you to make contracts with me," and become now he would basically have to say, "I'm being forced to make contracts with you."
Or maybe she's gonna force Kyuubethe to force contracts on the girls now instead of giving them that choice.
Well, no.
Yeah, that
But
would
they
be.
look, then they definitely wouldn't be happy. They clearly looked like they could still. They didn't look like that. I think we would know.
But does Homura care?
And Madoka was clearly already a magical girl, so she clearly. I really doubt she would be so cheery ever in life if she was forced to make a contract with Kyuubethe.
Maybe everyone but Madoka. I don't know.
Way to transfer Madoka's family to America for a while.
Yeah, that was sure convenient.
Hey, do you know any English?
What are you talking about?
Leave her alone. We got to make parallels for the first episode,
and pretty
guys.
interestingly, not so much abrupt, but kind of interesting to how it sort of not so much retells the story, but sort of like it does that once again, that sort of like endless loop of this story. I thought that was interesting. Like, wow, okay, so not only is it a loop
you
of
can
the
even
same
see that.
story, but the consequences of these characters are different. Where it's now Homura who's the usual person, and it's Madoka as this fresh face. And I think like, wow, holy shit,
Also,
that
you can
could
even-
go
you know,
into so many different things.
I did like the detail how Homura was wearing was clearly wearing the red ribbon before deciding
Yeah.
it looks better on you. But
Yeah.
Madoka showed up to class wearing the yellow ribbons. If you go back to the TV series and watch the first episode, she said, "Wonder which ribbon I should wear." She had a red and yellow one. So it's clear if she didn't have the red ribbon,
Oh, I didn't
Mom would
think
have
of
just
that
told her to
now.
wear the yellow one. That's why she had that. That was the only one she had.
Sort of like the stereotypical view of like, and say how a comic book or television or movies or insert medium here, how they do that thing for an alternative universe where literally like, oh, this morning I ate an orange. Well, in this alternative universe, I ate an apple. Like that sort of like weird sort of thing. I thought that was very interesting. When I noticed that, I was like, holy shit, whoa! Like I remember that near the end of the movie, where I saw that in the theater and I was just like, whoa,
Hey, that's that thing from her house from the episode I Are Smart.
right from the beginning too, literally, right from the beginning.
It's almost like this was planned.
So
Well,
now I'm thinking, what's funny is this doesn't have to do with the movie, but the fact that I own a figure of every character so far except Homura. Now I bet if I wait long enough, they're going to come out with a Devil Homura figure, and I'm just going to buy that one.
Yeah, I kind of want that one.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
that
like how
would-
long it took them to come out with the Ultimate Madoka figure, they'll have to wait long enough so that they don't care if they spoil it anymore. So it's going to take quite a few months. Also, wonder with the Soul Gem replicas, I wonder if there will be one of Homura's new Soul Gem with the weird cubes sticking out of it, and it being
they
her,
always look like flaps.
being
to
like
me.
her love gem. Ew, not her love gem. God, I'm not. Don't call it that. Please don't let that be.
Who's
the
licking
thing.
whose gem tonight?
Shut up.
Oh, you.
And at least these weren't pointless changes. Like the first two movies had completely pointless changes. Like, when Kyoko eats Pocky, now she's eating strawberry Pocky instead of chocolate. Or in episode 7, instead of eating that blue popsicle, now she's eating an orange one. See, we changed the animation. It was like, wow, way to go, Shaft, way to go.
That reminds
Way to
me of
go, try,
a re-release
star.
of Ghost of the Shell where they changed all the green screens to yellow screen or orange screens. Remember that?
Shaft has OCD. No, we can make this better. We'll make the school gates better.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, man, they went crazy on that school. It looks like a freaking castle.
I know. God, I get it. You girls are freaking rich if you're going to this school. How do you have any problems with anything?
Yeah.
White people, am I right?
I see what you did there.
Oh my god. Yeah. I remember like one person said like, "Oh, it's just a school. Come on." Yeah.
I
But
did
yeah,
that
but
joke.
yeah.
Madoka movie 4. Now God is mommy for some reason. And I wanted to be like
Mommy
I wanted to
Kami.
be like Madoka movie 7. Kyoko is elected prime minister.
Oh. That would be something. That would be something.
But really, please don't. You see, this I could think of.
Let's not turn this
You
into a
want, don't,
franchise.
yeah,
shall
let's
we?
not call the movie fanficky just because I could easily think of all sorts of ways that would be awful. Just because if I wrote it,
Yeah, that's
it would
kind
be
of
it would be absolute
shitty
crap.
way.
Yeah, maybe they made the school look like a castle, and I just instantly had this thought here. Maybe they made it look like a castle because Monica's now kind of her prisoner in a way. It's like the princess is in this castle now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this visual thing.
Or, for the case of, say, the endless loop or the sort of semi-idea of the Groundhog Day syndrome, everything's a routine and you don't even notice the beauty of your own world when you fucking do the same fucking thing on every day of this life that repeats and loops over and over. You don't even notice the beauty anymore. You don't notice the green grass, the beautiful trees. You don't notice the sunny skies. You don't notice the beautiful glass house you live in. You don't notice the garden in your backyard. You fucking don't notice anything because it fucking loops.
You know what they say about girls who live in glass houses? They should pick the red ribbon.
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't like it when it first happened, but after seeing the whole movie, I kind of like how the movie started out the same way the show did, with her mom in the bathroom and whatnot.
Yeah, and I thought that was an interesting recap. I
Oh
like
God,
that.
you might want to phrase that better.
Okay,
Yeah,
with
that
her
was
mom and her brushing their
misconstrued.
teeth and their hair and
Yeah,
dusting.
they're both getting ready. And
In the most
and then,
huge,
As
you
a
know-
no-
hugest bathroom ever.
I
by
do
the
have to
way.
wonder.
yeah, no kidding.
Okay, it's clear though. This is a question that'll never be answered because it was all a dream world inside Homura's soul gem that she had discovered. So of course there are going to be illogical discrepancies, like where the hell the nightmares came from.
I'll
Doesn't
take
matter.
that bet.
It wasn't even real. But I was like, hey, how did you become magical girls in the first place? Kyubey can't talk in this world. He just goes cute. How do you know what the hell he wanted?
The subtitles,
Yeah.
of course.
And then
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
I met Bebe. It was like, because they didn't question anything in this world. I like how just like, hey, by the way, what the hell is that thing? Where did it come from? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Because you're stupid. Slap, slappity, slap.
And also, speaking of the whole routine of what ZekeFreek mentioned with it by saying like, oh well, like it sort of starts off exactly like the first episode, with the little routine of how everyone starts their morning. Tatsuya's in his mom's room, waking up like, mommy, time to get up, wake up, and then Madoka comes in, opens the blinds, and her mom's like, the light, and then there's Madoka's dad in the garden, clipping some vegetables and cooking the breakfast, and then they're all eating together, and
They're
know,
the best
and,
house.
and what I like about that too is they play sort of the exact same sort of animation set of like how they eat breakfast. You know, they're all sort of just sort of they're all sort of
Oh,
quiet,
want
but
any
they're
more coffee,
together.
honey? Oh, no, I gotta go.
Yeah, and then of course Tatsuya is eating his breakfast and he digs into one of the tomatoes with his little fork and it doesn't go in all the way and it bounces off. Mom catches it and it's like, oh, there you go, safe. And then they sort of talk and then right before they leave, Madoka and her mom high five and like, okay, well I'm gonna go win the bread, and then they all say their goodbyes and that's how it goes on. I thought that was a very interesting aspect to the movie. Like they did
And
that and I thought like, wow.
And I had one thing is that one detail I liked, and this is I think is in the show too, is that Madoka does not leave the toast hanging out of her mouth as she walks to
Yeah.
school. She actually eats it.
Like,
No,
Yeah.
instead they went for another anime stereotype. Have her do that moe kyun pose when transforming. That was one thing that made me go, oh, come on, really?
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting.
Pandering.
You think at first when you see like the intro to the third movie, you think, what the fuck is the same thing again? But I love how subtle it is to once it changes when she meets her friends. Like she meets her like, oh, it's gonna be the same crew, and then she meets her and it's all the girls. Like, holy fuck, whoa!
Oh, it's Kyoko,
Hey,
man.
Kyoko, what's up? You going to
Like,
school now? You get
Sunny's
crappy
there.
grades?
Like, mommy's fucking there too, and then they start to walk and talk and everything's just, it's different, but it has this samey conversation, and it's just
and
like,
Hitomi's already going out with Kyosuke, and Sayaka doesn't mind because she's emotionally mature now and has accepted this
yeah.
and is genuinely happy. And I was
There
like,
was also
yay,
that,
Sayaka and happiness.
There was also that one
Yay.
line that Sayaka said where she's like, I know from experience. I'm like, oh, that's foreshadowing that she still has her memories.
No, I did like how Kyoko was like, hey, that's a big deal coming from you.
Yeah, that was great. That was really
Oh,
confident.
and at the end of the movie, all the shippers on their whatever hobbies can say Kyosai is canon because I came back for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think this series will ever go that deep into any of that. I think they're just doing it because people want to hear it.
Not what this show is about.
Yeah, I never really thought there's
Yuki Shinbo can, he can't resist.
Yeah.
I know sometimes. Oh.
Oh, okay. I knew I had something else to mention. The whole mommy slow realization of things like, well, what are you talking about? Why would we fight witches? We fight wraiths. So wait, wraiths? We fight wraiths. Then what are these nightmares that we've been?
I actually got a little bit disappointed because we never really found out how wraiths work exactly because they switch over to these nightmares.
Yeah, that was kind of a.
They were just kind of there.
Totally uninteresting to watch in this movie just because they all look the same. And so the thing is, like, even the detractors of this movie did mention like all the pointless, stupid shit stuff they consider. I don't consider it stupid, but stuff they considered in this movie stupid. They did mention at no point was this movie boring in the slightest.
Yeah, it was never boring. I was grinning and I was like, at parts where I actually cried. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. Like, I guess I'll talk about my bits like as soon as Chibi's done with her thing,
which will be coming up, eventually when we just stop talking.
Yeah.
Wish I could remember something else I wanted to go into. Let's see. I complained about the Moe Kyun. Of course, the overly long transformation thing, but
that was just fan service, but not in the LOL boobs fan service.
Oh yeah, that one shot. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Did you guys think this movie had too many openings? Like it had that narration at the beginning, and then it had the traditional Madoka theme from the beginning from the show, and then it had another opening with the family and whatnot.
This movie won't make a lick of sense anyway unless you've already seen the series. Do not watch this movie unless you've seen the series. So why even bother explaining? There is no recap.
Yeah,
that's the reason why I kind of this video is going to assume that you've watched the series and you're kind of wondering if this movie is worth it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, I personally think it is. So, but
no. This doesn't ruin it forever or anything.
Knowing that I will have to wait months, probably over a year, to be able to watch this movie again.
Okay, all right, yeah, we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves.
Anything else before I turn over to?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
HB?
Let Chibi
I
talk.
think I've finished.
Yeah.
I've stolen enough time.
All right. So Chibi,
Yep.
you're up.
All right, my end is probably gonna be long-winded and maybe a little redundant, but I just want to make sure I say all my pieces since I let everyone else sort of have their moments. We could do this, anyways. Okay. Now, something that I find interesting, and this is what I think as the characters for the series to the TV show and the movies, especially the third movie. It's funny that the way Homer is looked upon as a character. What I thought when I watched the TV series, my interpretation of the character is that she was a decent person at first that became a terrible person because she was locked in the game. And when I mean the game, I mean the life of being this magical girl and hunting these witches and fucking, taking orders from Kyuubethe and trying to figure out everything. I think it's like she was a decent person at first, but the more her life looped because of her being a magical girl, the more she became a shitty person, like an awful person, and the more she was locked in the game and everything felt so hopeless. That's when she finally is like, all right, I can't fucking do this. I need to fight back. I'm gonna fight.
So basically,
I'm gonna fight dirty. Like, I'm fucking tired of this. Like, shit needs to fucking end. I need to. Like, I can't let anybody else be this person or be this thing. Like, I need to save something or whatever. And I thought that was a very interesting. That was sort of my interpretation of what Homer was as the character for the TV series. And what I like about the third movie, it's funny that we all sort of mentioned Evangelion when we talked about our theater experience for the movie. What I think is interesting is that this is the only, I think, comparison I'll make between Madoka and Evangelion to how they sort of end. What I think is interesting is that I think the way the TV series portrays Homer as a character, because you may not know it until you see the movies and then you sort of get, like, both perspectives of the character, I think Homer is portrayed as a bit more positively, like, say, Shinji's ending to the TV series. I'm not going to go into specifics because, spoilers, but it's, a bit of a long portion to that. But I think what's interesting is that I think the third movie has a bit of an end of Evangelion effect where how End of Eva ends, where the TV ending was more of a positive light for Shinji. Some bad shit still happens in the TV series, but Shinji's able to handle it, and he's able to handle himself mentally, and I think he's finally able to grasp himself as a person and get over, help fight back his depression and try to save the world or try to understand the people around him. Where the End of Eva is like a screaming, angry mess of emotions and fucking hating everyone, and even if you try to save yourself, you fucking can't. You're powerless. Your depression fucking ruins your life. You can't do anything. You hate the people around you, but you love them, but you fucking hate them. You fucking kill everybody. You fucking want a better life, but you fucking can't do anything about it. I think that's why I make the comparison, because I think what Homer is as a character in the third movie, I thought that was very interesting, because I think where the TV series could have been maybe a bit more positive, like, hey, like, maybe Homer could finally change something and fucking finally end this misery. I think the third movie goes in for the worst, like, the worst idea, not worst idea, but, like, the worst case scenario of this.
Well,
of Homer
Kyuubethe literally says that this will be the worst possible end for you.
Yeah. And what I think is interesting too, and this was probably my favorite part of the movie, this was in the last, I think,
Isolate
hour.
field.
Hold on.
That's what it was called. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry. Okay. The last hour of the movie is when literally it's Homer and Kyuubethe sort of face to face, and they're just having these sort of dialogues. I thought that was great because I think that's the movie, not so much in a nutshell, but like this is not so much the end, but this is like, fuck this. You're the ultimate of this, and this fucking power of magical girls and fucking controlling everything. Fucking, we're gonna talk. We're fucking settling this. And I thought that was, I loved that sequence. I thought that was the best scene in the movie, best sequence in the movie. I thought that was probably the strongest when it came to its writing and character writing. And I think that's where I feel there's a bit of an Enda Evangelion effect, where Homura fucking she's become, I guess, mostly is, a terrible person, and she's not fucking going down without a fight. She goes for the just, the most fucking harsh, violent way she could go down, and she does. And I thought that was very interesting. And I thought, just as that character, like, her going, off and, more to the endless loops, her ending off in that one scenario of her becoming, the demon, like, that sort of demon form, I thought that was very interesting. I thought, well, and I said this earlier in my more vague review without spoiling, that I felt like some parts of the movie ran on fumes, and like, alright, this series is starting to kind of show it's like, alright, we did all this, like, I think we've done all we could do, it's time to end this. That's why I think it runs on fumes. I think that scene, that, like, like what I mentioned earlier, I think that scene is what makes the series good. Like, this is why people like it, is, like, creative stuff like this. I think that's where it's running perfectly fine, it's good, and I just think that's so interesting to that aspect to that character. And to sort of look at the characters overall to the third movie, comparing them, to the earlier two movies and the TV series, I think it's interesting how some characters remember certain things. Sayaka was always my favorite character, but what I like about her progression of her characters in the TV series, she always just sort of came off, well, especially the first two episodes, as that sort of best friend character. She joins along in this magical adventure, but what I like is, as Madoka and Sayaka start to see this horrifying misery of this life of being a magical girl, what I like is Sayaka goes from kind of freaked out, sort of mentally fucked over person in this new life of hers to, in the third movie too, not only does she get a grasp of herself, but she fucking kicks ass, and she has a hang over everything, and I thought that was just the fucking coolest thing. Like, that was so good.
Yeah.
Good
Hell
character
Yeah, that was
writing.
cool.
Good fucking
Mhm.
character writing, strong character writing, and, like, actually doing something, like, well thought out of the character. That was just fucking just the greatest. And something I want to give a bit of a, possibly my other favorite, my other, like, favorite moment of the entire movie, the transformation sequences from the very beginning, like at the very beginning half of the movie, I thought those were cool, and I love how every different,
very great.
like
IPC.
every different girl had her own sort of special transforming sequence, and I
Sayaka
loved
was breakdancing.
yeah, I love Psychus because I feel like it had that cool kind of after image shadowy effect. That was fucking cool, and I just, like, that was some strong, well actually made animation right there. That was so cool.
This movie had a budget, and it was great.
And
Yeah, it was a big budget too.
I think we're in this sort of, in our generation of the internet and how we sort of look at movies and pop culture and media. You know how, say, for Twitter or Tumblr or Facebook or, insert your favorite site here, insert your favorite
Friend
site.
surf.
Yeah.
What is that?
MySpace.
People make their sort of homemade gifs of, like, their favorite moments. I think those magical girl moments, it's not so much that those were made for doing that, but, like, those are so good. Like, that's, like, if I ever wanted to see a gif of a piece of animation, and say, in the case of, say, Madoka Magica, that's what I think of from now on when I think of Madoka, are those fucking cool transformation sequences. That was just fucking
And I
That was
complained
the cream
about
of the
it.
crop.
No, I get
Yeah.
I get why you complain about them, especially for, say, Madoka. That was a little odd. Like, okay, that's fucking weird.
Maybe if they put it, maybe
Yeah.
if they put it at like the very, very beginning.
Yeah. I think so.
No, it's okay because they were in super idealized Sailor Moon world.
Yeah, but I think it's
Yeah.
so like the symbolism that went before it. Like, say, when they go into one of the labyrinths and the cake song and, like, everything's super happy, even though they're transformed to their magical outfits, as magical girls. I think all that symbolism kind of worked on some aspects. I just thought the way some of those transformation sequences worked was really well done. Really well done.
Take a breath. It's okay.
No, I'm just saying. And sort of just collecting more of my thoughts. Overall, I think the movie, and this isn't exactly my final word, but just to kind of sort of get, since I'm being a bit more spoilerific on my point, overall, I think the movie has some really weak and moments where it's like, alright, they're running on fumes, I think they should kind of just end the franchise. as well as there were those scenes, I think that kind of slowed the movie down. It was like, man, this isn't that great. There are some moments that I think make the movie worth it, and I'd say if you're a fan of the series, check it out. If you're not a fan, you might want to do some reading up first. But something that I want to somewhat finish off my side of talking, or my side of this sort of podcast with, is that this, I don't know if this is true or not, but was it confirmed just recently, like a few hours ago, or just like a few days ago, that that Gen Obochi kind of said his opinion about Madoka in general, saying like, would you
Yes.
consider it or would you not? Well, didn't he say he actually doesn't want to continue it?
Yes, and we could talk about how we each feel about that.
I'm
Me personally, I read, and this is what he said too, that the twist ending with Homura was all Akiyuki Shinbo's idea.
Yeah.
And I've said
And-
before
And,
that.
and was it all like the executives too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's
no, it was
really a
it was the executives that made it so that they're like, hey Shinbo, he's planning to end this thing. We like money, so we need you to fuck some things up, okay? But in a good way.
Oh, but I liked it.
But I'm saying that this was the best direction the series could have gone in. So if even if Iwabuchi leaves, if it's still Shinbo, I'm still gonna watch whatever comes next.
I don't know if I'll like it without Urobuchi, but
I'm not saying that this moment right now is gonna be when we're all gonna say, or like, this is how we're gonna say this. Like, I'm only just saying this for my part only, but I'm just saying for like an opinion on that of what Gen Obochi has commented on and saying. I'm only gonna say this. I think if this is gonna end, it should end right now, because I feel like some parts of the movie really ran on some fumes, and I think that kind of hurt some of it. But I feel like if it's gonna end, it should end now. But if there is going to be something more, I might check it out. But to say like my exact sort of like, this is what I feel like, my exact comment to my reaction to my comment to this, I think it should end. I think it should end, and I want it to end. But if it does continue, I might give it a chance.
Wait, you want it to end here with Homura winning and everything being fucked over? You want this?
if it means Urobuchi leaving, I just don't.
Hold on, not finished.
Guys.
Not that specifically, but it's just like, I think we played out most of what could happen out of like the endings, where the TV ending and the movie's ending, especially movie 3. I feel like we played out all the possibilities to how this could go.
So what you're saying is one more final conclusion and that's it.
No, I feel like that's it. Like right now, like we had the TV ending, we had the third movie's ending. I feel like this could be. I think this might be completely played out. But that's just my thought.
But that's what you're saying, is that you want this ending then.
Yeah, I do. Well,
that's just sad.
Well, no, I'd have to say that if Gen Urobuchi doesn't want to do anymore, I just want to respect his wishes, and I'm fine with there just not being any more. I'll still buy the merchandise and stuff, but it's like I don't want him to do something he doesn't want to do.
But you're satisfied with this as an ending to the series?
Hey,
this?
I'm saying I would like there to be more, but if he doesn't want to do it, I'll just go, oh well.
So if he's not tied on to the next project, you're not interested.
Oh, I'll still watch it. I'll just be like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, like, earlier, like, if Gen Urobuchi is going to be on, I probably might not give it a look, but if he is going to be on, yeah, sure, I'm definitely on board. But if he's not, it's probably going to be more of a try, and if it grabs me, hell yeah.
I think this is just my view, but I think you're all taking it a little too personally, and I don't think you're giving Shinbo and the rest of the Magica Quartet and Shaft enough credit.
I'm not trying to dismiss them. I'm not trying to dismiss them at all. I'm not trying to do any of that. I think you're trying to put words in my mouth. No offense. And record, I'm not trying to backpedal, but I didn't exactly say this is the best ending ever. This is how I want it to end. I'm just saying, I think of all the endings they could do, I think, without coming off as redundant or just running on fumes, this could be one of the better ways to end it. I'm not saying this is my favorite ending. I'm not saying that at all. I feel like the ending was one of the weaker points of the movie. I'm just saying this could be it for like what they could do with this franchise without it becoming fucking stale and boring and just fucking losing the magic of what made this series so interesting in the first place. But
losing the magic.
You can say that, and I might agree to some extent, but honestly, I want a proper conclusion regardless. Even if we have to run on fumes to get there, I want an ending that's better than this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Freaking
that's,
manga,
yeah,
at
that's
least.
my worry, though. Like, that's my worry. Is like, okay, we could go for one final one that can end everything up, but there could be a risk
Would
of it
we
being
want it?
terrible and
Well,
generic
here's the thing though. As long as if the final conclusion is good, even if the way we got there was kind of lackluster, I think I'm going to be happier with that than just with ending it here.
Hmm.
all
Well,
right.
this is all speculation.
Yeah, exactly.
There might be more. There might
I'm
not.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. I'm not saying this is a rock hard fact. I'm just saying like what I've heard and my opinion from what I've heard. That
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if even if the series doesn't continue, I'd be like, well, that was fun, but I really would like a second season, and
Just
I'm not trying to diss Shinbo or anything like that because most of the
we have to thank these people like this Akiyuki Shinbo, Studio Shaft, and Generabushi for making something this well made and
yeah.
competent. So I'm not
yeah,
against
because
this.
yeah,
When I
like
first
Shinbo. Yeah, it's like Shinbo has made like some of my favorite anime ever. To be honest.
Okay, to
So,
be
yeah.
honest, I'm not a big fan of Shimbo on his own.
yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that
fair
before.
enough.
And this is
But
kind of
I have. Here's the thing: I have to be because he's doing Makaku City Actors, and I want that to be good. So
I'm just
bad.
saying this is coming
Yeah.
from someone who absolutely loves Madoka, but Shimbo on his own. Did you guys see Sasami-san at Ganbaranai? That was absolute crap.
Mm.
I'm a take it or leave it with Shinbo. Like, I thought Moon Phase was kind of I thought
I liked it.
some parts of the Negima animes, I know I'm not saying in the plural, but the various anime stuff of Negima I thought was kind of fun, but like, I'm take it or leave it. He's not really my favorite director, but I don't think he's the worst. I think he's just
Yeah, I think there's a lot worse
like
out
he's
there.
made
Well-
some good fucking competent shit, like say Madoka and some parts of some of the Negima anime stuff, like the OVAs and the TV series, but like that's about it for me in the case of being take it or leave it. Like for me, he's just take it or leave it. Like he sometimes
yeah,
hits good and sometimes it's just
but this is so recent. It's like, can you not just see like he's improved though? Like, has he made
No.
anything really crap since this?
no, totally.
Well, whatever Bakemonogatari thing. Okay, wait, that's a bad example. That's my personal preference. I can't.
Yeah, I like.
People
Yeah,
like that show. People
I
like
don't-
that show.
I
Well,
don't. People do. I
even
don't.
just saying, didn't Bakemonogatari air in 2009?
Oh, but it's
Yeah,
still
that was
going,
way.
it's
still going on, isn't it?
There's Monogatari's
Yeah, but-
second season and all this confusing round
Yeah,
whatever.
all the new series of that have like a Gatari at the end, like Bake Monogatari. There's like another few other Gatari stuff.
Nisei Monogatari.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
Bake Monogatari overall, that was another certain thing.
Oh,
That was like, it was okay. Like
Yeah, it's just weird.
I don't like it.
no, Keikakukat, that's okay. But
That's okay. It's okay. You can say that. We're not going to beat you
that's
up.
okay. Could've been better,
Something
but
he
could've been
did that I like.
it could have been better, but it did have its shit parts though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I find this interesting that I'm in the most defense of continuation even without Gurabuchi, and I really like it. I'm probably the least fanatic about Madoka in the room.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason.
You go on. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the reason why I got into Gen Yorubuchi was this is pretty much well documented if you follow me on Twitter, is because I played this eroge called Sayano Uta, and it just blew my freaking mind. And then when I read like this guy is doing a freaking a magical girl series, holy freaking Toledo! I better get on this shit. So
Really?
yeah, that wasn't my literal reaction, but that's how I remember it.
And in the case of what we were talking about earlier, and ZekeFreek, how you were trying to, what you were saying of like the possibilities of what we were trying to say. Something else about this, I want to make sure I come off clear as this. I don't think Gen Yorubuchi is that great of a writer in general. I think Madoka is really actually pretty solid and competent, but I've seen some of his latest works, and wow.
Did you like
Yeah,
did you like
Psychopaths.
did you yeah Psychopath?
Jesus.
Did you like Fate Zero?
I
Fate
like-
Zero. It's okay. Like,
well, he was working in an already existing universe. He was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
restrained
true.
there.
it's
It's
not
like
exactly it.
he didn't have free reign.
Yeah.
But there are people who keep defending him because of that. It's like any mistakes in Fate Zero are just because they were beyond his control.
Oh,
Yeah, he can do no wrong.
Well, it is
oh.
some cases kind of beyond his control, but some parts where it's like, all right, this is how you're gonna write it. But I think that the guy's a decent writer, but I
Yeah.
feel he might need I think he might need a perspective change because I feel like not to use this term again, but I feel like even he's sort of running on fumes. Because man, Psychopaths, interesting universe, interesting main character, that female character, she's interesting, but man, the rest of that is fucking garbage. Ugh.
Yeah,
I've only
it's like,
watched up to
oh
episode
god,
5,
Psychopaths was so. You know, I'm gonna go on about how Psychopaths is so disappointing, and then and then when Funimation announces a release, watch me end up buying it anyway because I'm a fool. Because I'm a
might-
fool.
I might
Don't be
I
like
might
me,
buy it-
kids.
I might buy it if it's gonna be like, I might wait a couple years, and if it's cheap, I might buy it then to
Put it
try
in a
to
real
give it
nice
another
box.
chance, to try to give it another chance. But man,
Funimation doesn't have really boxes. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Yeah.
just a peeling chipboard box that I'd be like,
Yeah,
good enough. If it's a DVD only release, then I'll pass on it. I'll pass on the pass.
Man, you're so psycho to pass on Psychopaths.
oh
Yeah.
I
That
Oh,
one.
my soul gem is darkening, and I have the red eyes of evil.
You have become the one known as evil.
Well,
I never saw. I'm probably the only person in the room. I never saw Psychopaths. I'll watch it when the dub comes out. I'll watch it at least.
if you get the chance,
Yeah, do check it out if you have the shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty holy crap, this is pretty action packed. And after like episode 5, I was just like, I don't really feel compelled to continue.
no, totally. Like
Yeah.
it may start strong, but after
It might be
episode
just Funimation's side
Like,
though. but
no, totally. It's like after I feel like, does this
And
have much of a
we'll
point
get
to
the
it?
cleaned up animation because around halfway through Psychopaths, the animation turned butt ugly.
Oh, I
because
heard that. I heard
Yeah.
it did.
It was Noitamina, and why is this always happening with them? It's even happening with Samurai Flamenco right now. God, the animation got really bad in one episode.
Oh god.
I was like, God,
yeah.
stop! Don't be Gonzo! Don't be Gonzo! And
Yeah,
please do
let's not get that.
freaking.
Yeah, go.
And these are the many sins of the Psychopaths.
Welcome to the Psychopaths podcast.
Yet I don't want to call it bad anime. I just disappointing in comparison.
Yeah, disappointing. Yeah. But I have heard, some good things about Fate Zero, and when I eventually will save up enough money, I think I might pick it up.
I've
Right?
seen it.
The only reason I even
I
give
might watch it in
the
the
Fate
future.
Stay Night
Eh.
universe at all. I don't care
Are
about
you
anything
are you
else.
looking forward to Heaven's Feel? Because from what I hear, that's the best route in the game.
Oh, I don't play the game. I mean, I
Oh.
haven't played the game. I mean, I don't even know if it was released here.
No,
What, Fate Stay
it was a
Night?
complete fan translation. It was never officially released. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't play fan translations or down. I don't do that. That's just me.
We'll be
Like,
okay. There
like
we go.
really, you won't even play fan translations if there is no official version.
Well, I did that for Mother 3, but
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
yeah, that's
Actually.
because it's
It's all
Part
what you
3.
could do, so that but
Okay, I don't want to open up a can of worms, but I didn't like Mother 3 very much.
okay.
Whatever.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't
Let's
know.
get back to the subject.
Yeah, let's get back. Yeah, let's get back.
God, we
on
were
track.
talking about the possibility of still watching Madoka if it's without Gen or He's like, well, of course I'm still going to watch it. I'm just hoping if it goes on, it's still Gen. But it's
the
not.
points you've made are that Gen has made just as many bad mistakes in his career. Why is that any different?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. In that case,
Yeah.
I will just be optimistic regardless of who does it, if it's him, if it's not him, if they don't do anything at all. The thing is, though, you know how much money this series makes. If they have the
Yeah.
option to keep doing it, they're going to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I say that, and then I'll continue to buy all the things.
Yeah,
Of course.
we're all. I'm pretty much. And I hate to use this term. We're pretty much balls deep into the series at this
I'm
point.
bad
Well,
otaku.
Well, that and if it really does perk your interest to have that one sort of piece of memorabilia, I'm not too heavy on the memorabilia of the series because I don't really know what I want out of it. Like that's
Yeah.
like that for me. That's literally it. Like I don't know exactly what I want for memorabilia of Madoka, but I don't know. Someday down the line, I might fucking pick up a few Sayaka figurines or something like that. Or if I see like a Sayaka plush, I might get that. Or
I have her
like that.
keychain.
Oh, nice.
Is it on your keyring though?
Yeah, I even wear it to freaking work.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a psych.
I originally had Homura, but then I was like, I like Sayaka more than Homura, so I put Homura on the backpack.
Well,
just
that-
to get him
that-
up.
Virtual
That for even
Virtu-
the case. Oh, sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
virtual high five, man.
Yes.
Well, that, and even for the case of that too, for the case of Homura, Keikakukat, you also have that Homura plush, so there you go.
Oh, well, that's
Add
because
that too.
that's because other than my Kyuubethe plush, that's just because they haven't made any more of the other characters.
I know,
would've
that's so
bought-
weird.
I would have bought one of anyone else if they had one.
Yeah, I would have totally bought a Sayaka and maybe even a Madoka, because I imagine Madoka would look pretty interesting as a plush.
Yes, she would. Hell, I'll buy a plushie of Bebe.
Oh god.
Or Bebe.
Watch them.
You want to know something? If they were to dub Bebe, I imagine like like Chibi's little voice for Charlotte when I showed her that.
Oh man, that fan art. Oh, gee.
To be honest, for Nagi, besides the fact that she's an incredibly minor character, so it doesn't matter. Since Bang Zoom would dub it, if they do, it would either be Stephanie Shea, or maybe, although I think the voice would be unfitting, Chirami Lee, since she works for Bang Zoom too now. But
Oh, yeah.
it's just that all their other Bang Zoom
Does
voices.
she? Because Funimation just put up a video interview with her today.
Well, you see, she plays Asuna in Sword Art Online. So
Yeah,
she
I know that always confused me.
She works for both now. I asked her on Twitter. She said she'll still work for Funimation, but she
Okay.
will also go to Bang Zoom sometimes.
Hmm.
Yes, I would.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
imagine Chef or Nagisa. That's
So-
my. Yeah, I'd do that too.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I would be like, yeah.
Yes.
That
If there ever will be a dub, I kind of wonder how everyone's gonna. I kind of wonder how all the actors are gonna feel about acting all this out, especially Christina V.
I mean,
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
really hard to get the
D&D,
cake song, make a rhyme or whatever. God.
yeah, because Homura, especially for the third movie, that's gonna be some really intense acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christina V, get ready. Enough
Yep.
Pokemon.
I hope your body is ready.
It's time for you to.
Well, I'm-
Better be ready, because holy shit.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Somebody
in it.
go check her Twitter. Did she say anything after the premiere about it?
well, she's probably under NDA.
She's-
so she probably
maybe.
can't
Yeah, y'all
say
did
anything.
talk
She did
Yeah,
mention.
probably.
No, I just mentioned Sarah Williams. I was like, ooh, I hope it gets dubbed. She mentioned like Cassandra Lee's thoughts on it. Like she said, dark, inconclusive. I might have to rethink my thoughts on Kyuubethe's evilness. Homer. No, now I'm calling them by the characters. Oh God, I'm crazy.
Go on.
Christina V, for God's sakes, her reaction to the movie said, let's see, she's like, to avoid spoilers, all I can say is, Homura, no.
Right. You're making this much more work for me, Homer. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when the second that she's like called in to do the voice and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like, oh God.
Yeah,
Well, it's
given
gonna
that-
be a lot of
given-
intense,
Tweeting about the English voices of this, going to the premiere, and took pictures of them with the producers and stuff from Japan and stuff. It's like, hey, so you guys gonna dub this, or are you just telling these guys, hey, your work is over. We don't need you guys anymore. We don't even need to dub anything anymore. Don't be please, please, come on, dub it.
What are you, NISA?
No, we gotta
Jeez.
listen. Yeah, you got or they're gonna like just pretty much listen to the weeaboos and be like,
Oh, they're gonna be that one guy in our theater when the dub cell phone commercial came on. He's like, "What do you mean it's dubbed?" Remember that guy?
There were
Oh, I don't remember.
there
that guy.
were people like that in the theater when not in the theater, after. We weren't talking in the theater when we came out. I was talking about the dub. We were like, if I know an anime is decent, I'm not gonna watch the dub. And I was like, get out.
Then they
Oh,
did they
God.
tip their fedora and walk away?
You're not giving the acting chance. Like, you're not giving the acting an actual chance, which is so dumb. Like, seriously.
Who? I can't. I'm blanking on a first name now. Williams. Who was? I can't remember.
Hmm?
What was her name? What was her name?
Well,
What?
we'll give us a
What
character.
character?
No. The actress. I can't remember her first
Sarah
name.
Williams.
Yes.
Nope.
This was the role that actually sold me on her. I actually really like
I know.
her.
To be honest, out of everyone in the English dub of Madoka, her performance as Sayaka was my favorite.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was really amazing. That's
I
what
was
made
like,
me
Sarah
like
Williams,
Sayaka.
hey, you should be in lots of stuff now. I know she's in the dub of Excel World.
Yes.
She's
She's
of
great.
course she's
Let me tell you something. She was so good in Excel World that my dub-hating friend watched that clip of her as Nico. He actually admitted that's the most true to form performance he's seen so far.
It's like I really like her voice. I like her performances. I want her to be more well known.
Did you finish
And
Excel
speaking-
World, by the way?
And speaking,
No, only set 1 is out.
Yeah, let's not
No, no,
get too far.
Yeah,
off.
okay, we'll talk later.
And speaking of Sarah Williams, in that case, yeah, her performance is what actually made me like Psyche even more. In fact, speaking of the Madoka dub and good performances, I already thought Kyuubethe was pretty interesting, so the dub of Kyuubethe's voice was pretty interesting. But I know from a few other critics and reviewers and that alike, some people thought that Mommy's dub voice was a little off. Actually, I have to be honest with something.
I used to hate it.
Yeah,
until-
I cannot remember it.
Here's the thing though. Here's my point of reference though on this, or my point of review or opinion on this. I actually didn't like Mommy as a character in the Japanese version. In the dub, I actually kind of liked her character because I thought the way she came off as this, and this is only for the TV series because it's pretty different in the movies to how, the characters are looked upon. But for the TV series, I thought Mommy was that interesting sort of big sister figure to Sayaka and Madoka when it came to being a magic girl. Like, oh, don't worry, I'll teach you all the ropes. I thought that was interesting too because in episode 3, where, since we're doing spoilers, I'm not going to say it because that's, redundant, but like, since everyone might know, everyone pretty much knows already, or if you don't, whatever, I'm sorry, spoilers. But this is the spoiler part of the podcast. But I think what's interesting is that I'm not bashing the Japanese voice actress for performance for that scene, but I feel like what the dub voice actress does, especially for speaking in English for the dub, I feel like she translates Mommy's breakdown so perfectly before what happens to her at the very end. I thought, like, where Mommy's like, she comes off as super confident, the big sister, when she finally breaks down, like, please help me. Like, my life is so terrible. I'm so alone. I feel awful. Like, like, my life is awful. Please help me. Like, and she breaks down and she just fucking mentally breaks down and loses it and starts tearing up. And then, she goes into what happens to her at the end of the episode. I thought the dub actually did a really good job of portraying that emotion. I thought that was really good.
Hey,
acting.
can we give a quick credit to credit where it's due? Her voice, her English VA is Carrie Karanen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently she did not know what was going to happen to her character when she started playing her. And she actually freaked out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
I know.
she-
I remember
she
her
handled it-
reaction
she
when
handled
she
it
was
so
saying,
well.
Did I just die?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, though, well, the thing about Carrie Karanen is, I don't know what the heck she does, but she's very
I'm looking at her list right now.
Recently she's very rarely in anything. I know she plays a minor character in Fate Zero,
Yes.
but she doesn't go to conventions with everyone else. Whenever they have the group of everyone from the English dub, Lauren Land is there, and she was the voice of Kyoko and stuff, and she often gets left out of group shots and stuff. But when it comes to the group of everyone from the English dub, it's always everyone there except Carrie, and I'm like, well,
Which is sad too, because if I could ever meet her, I'd just like, and saying this too.
She's constantly busy. She always gets left out.
Well, yeah, and to say this too, if I would ever have the chance to meet her at a convention, I'd just say to her, like, I thought, like, what the Japanese voice actress did for that character moment was great, but I feel like you brought it home with this great acting. That was really well done. Just fucking excellent acting. Seriously.
1-star review from Dub Haters.
Oh, whatever. That's them.
No
Whatever.
stars.
We probably should put a warning at the beginning. If you're a Dub hater, you're probably not going to like this podcast.
It's pretty much like Greg Gator's, like,
Warning.
if you're a dub hater, go away.
This podcast.
Dub hater, you may like this podcast. You may
Don't worry,
not.
there'll be the Japanese subbed release of this podcast shortly.
If you're a dub hater, you may or may not like this podcast, but you're definitely not going to like this specific part, so too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Eat it, nerds.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you guys want to, like, touch upon? Like, is there any final thoughts, like, on the movie before we kind of end this?
We're talking about Madoka? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because we kind of went into a tangent there for a second.
Well, I wanted to give Carrie Karanen some credit.
Other people don't like it. I just really do. I might be a hopeless Madoka fan because I'm probably, I hate to admit, I'm at that point of fandom that I tried to avoid, but I got sucked into anyway, where I'm going to end up liking it no matter what. So I'm not a good critic, but I just honestly really liked it, and I can't
Yeah.
wait for it to eventually come out here because I want to see it again.
Same here. My thoughts pretty much echo you, Keikakukat, because at first I was kind of like, I was like, tweeting like, I woke up this morning and I was kind of and I felt a little down because I was thinking, am I just being a hopeless Madoka fanboy about liking this? That was it really that good, or was I just
Is
masticating
it
it
just
by
good because I
my
wanted it to be
my
because I'm gonna
goggles?
like it no matter what?
Or am I looking at this while drinking the Homer flavored Kool-Aid or something like that? And then there's and nostalgia goggles too.
Yeah.
Or fan goggles, I should say.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I thought this was a great experience overall, and you want to know what? I can't wait to see it again. And however much Aniplex wants for it, yeah, I'll totally get it because I love Madoka. It really impacted me a lot, and personally, Genryubuchi or no Genryubuchi, I'll be more than happy to come in for the second season.
Outsourced to Studio Dean. What do you think now?
Oh hell no! Yeah. Oh no.
Oh man.
No.
Why don't you just kill me
No.
now?
No. Outsource this to JC staff.
Oh.
Hey,
You
Oh,
know
oh,
what?
my
Yeah, I'm
heart.
not. I'm not.
do
I'm not
okay.
getting on
No.
that bandwagon.
No.
Hey, they
No. Okay. Let's not
okay.
go there.
That's not what. That's another thing.
Yeah. But
okay, moving on.
Okay, but you, Zeke, what's your final thoughts?
It's an enjoyable movie. It's a decent continuation. I like the direction it's heading in. It's pretty. I think it's fairly flawed as a movie, especially the first half of it. Too much padding, too much fan catering, too much or not enough Nagisa.
Too much Nagisa, yeah.
Either way, yeah. So that's basically my thoughts. 7 out of 10. There you go.
Yeah.
I won't buy it because I don't buy things from Aniplex on principle, but that's just me.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough.
Well,
Okay.
I'll have to buy two then.
I'll send one over. Yeah, I'll buy 2 and send it
God.
over to Zeke.
Yep.
Like, I don't care if you don't do this. I'm bringing you into it. Take that.
You're not doing. You're going down.
Just like in the movie.
Policy's not on my end.
I have
I'll
standards.
only
I'm
take
supposed to
half
be
of
something
your
more.
anime buying power.
Now I am the law of the anime buying cycle. Okay. Okay. As for you, Chibi, your final thoughts.
I think overall, especially just to Madoka Magica as its own series, and the manga, the anime, and to the movies, I feel like
And the
I'm
PSP
not.
game
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too.
And the battle pentagram.
Yeah, I forgot that the PSP.
and the board game.
Overall, I'm not the biggest Magica fan ever, but I really do dig what it did especially for the TV series. I feel like it's not so much that it's the most original idea ever, but what it goes for, it actually works. Where the writing, for the most cases, actually really competent and well made, and actually kind of original in some parts. I think it works. I think for what the characters go through, it works. I think the movies also work to how they're. For some cases, some of these are sort of alternative looks on the characters, or they've gone through the things of the TV series, but they have, it goes through another sort of, another loop. I think overall, I'd say the movie itself, if you're a fan of the series, it's worth it. If you're just sort of walking in blind, I don't think this is gonna be for you. I think there's some rough-ass parts in the movie that almost kind of wreck it, but I think there's also some really
Gonna wreck it.
Yeah, I think there's also some really well-made, competent moments that remind us of what made us actually like this series. Even though there's some fucking really rough flaws in this movie, I say, if you're worried, if you're a fan of the series but you're worried about how this is gonna end, I'd say bite the bullet and see it.
Yeah, go for
even
it.
if you don't
Don't think
like
it's
it-
like the worst thing ever.
Even if you don't even like how the movie ends, I think you still might find something interesting about it, or you still might like, I don't like this, but I feel very vocal about this, and I want to express my thing or my view. I think that's great. You should totally fucking do that. But yeah, that's pretty much
To add on,
Sorry, I just want to say to finish myself out. That's pretty much my thing on Madoka Magica in a nutshell. So there you go, my side of that.
There's
Yeah,
one thing
like,
I
you
wanted to
know-
add. Can I add it?
oh, go for it.
Is that I think, just backpedaling a bit to the TV show, it is, in my opinion, one of the best paced and written 12-episode series I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I think it's a great example of how to do 12-episode series right.
Agreed.
You
like
know?
the first 2 episodes are interesting too, because like they sort of build on something, but once episode 3 and the rest of it happens, holy shit! It's like you shake that bottle of like just fucking of like a soda or just something fizzy or just something extremely carbonated, and
Great Lakes beer.
just fucking it
Oh,
gets
God.
shaken so much it just explodes. Can't stop it. It just fucking happens. I thought that was just well made for that TV show. That's one of the biggest positives about that show. The pacing is just, it's Breaking Bad pacing. It's fucking like, holy shit, that happened. Nothing's gonna stop. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that because there's parts of Breaking Bad that are just long and boring.
I
That's
disagree.
just, well, whatever.
but you know,
disagree.
Next time on the Breaking Bad podcast, we really dive into it.
okay. You know, okay. Overall, you know, I really hope this movie won't, you know, wreck it for people if you know if they didn't care much for the ending or the possible second season. You know, I really hope that that you know if there's ever like you know if Zach Bertsky and everyone at Ancast is going to do like a Revenge of the 2010s in like 2022 or something like that. Will this show even be talked about or even the next generation of anime fans will be talk-
things to say.
Best of the
Yeah, it's like
best of the 2010s. Sorry.
it's like you know I really hope that this
Remember
show.
when we still
Hold
had
on,
that
hold on.
4G phone
Guys,
service?
guys,
That was
guys.
shit.
Dude, Keikakukat, dude, Andrew was saying something. Sorry, go on. Go on.
Anyway, yeah, I just hope that Madoka, you know, since you know I really, really adored this series and it really, like I said before, left a huge impact. I really hope that this show will be remembered for many years to come because you know I love this show and I really hope that it continues to be strong. I really hope it would be kind of like be recognized among the Evangelions, the Sailor Moons, or like all the Studio Ghiblis and what have you. But you know, but you know,
Yeah, basically you hope that, say, in 10 or 15 years' time, you hope that if you look back, this could be one of the brighter parts of you know, Japanese anime of that decade. Of like, was this a standout hit or was it just some, you know, a famous thing that ended up being a piece of crap? Like,
or
yeah.
just the fact,
No, yeah, totally.
like what happened with
Well, yeah,
you know, that's a different
Well,
topic.
yeah, but like, was this great or was this not? Like, yeah, totally. You look back on this in 10 or 15 years, and it's just like you ask yourself that question. Yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, because it's not like I just hope it's not a series I end up completely loathing, like Dragon Ball Z or some shit like that. But then again, it's Dragon Ball Z.
10 years from now, we'll have the anniversary podcast, and we're all going to hate it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're a Madoka man. I can't believe I used to like that shit.
What the fuck were we thinking?
Look,
I threw that out with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
fucking Kino Pochi, what a fucking hack! Ah!
Or a butcher!
Just endless goddamn rage. That's all it is for like that anniversary podcast.
Yeah. This is me like at 35, and we're talking about. Man, I can't believe I was into that piece of shit show, Madoka Magica. God damn it,
Like,
man.
fuck that nonsense.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you guys have to add before I kind of close the book on this?
I'm pretty much
I'm
good
good.
for my thoughts.
Yeah. If you've really enjoyed us, yeah, we're on Twitter. My Twitter is at Kyuubethe3rd. That's at sign KYUUBETHE number 3 RD. So there you go.
And,
So if you guys want to follow us, okay, there you go. And as for you guys, ZekeFreek, take it away.
Yeah, you can check out my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter, ZekeFreek. You cannot spell freak without free. I got that off a cereal box. And on to you, Keikakukat.
Nice.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Keikakukat, KEIKAKU. Oh, and K-A-T. I forgot the K.
K8.
I can't even
Don't
spell
worry
good
about it. Dude,
finding.
it's been a long recording. We're all winding down. It's cool. Don't worry
Put
about
it,
it.
in the, put it in the description or something.
Like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
animal
Yeah,
cat
we'll put it in this
with a
description.
K
Yeah.
because Ks are cool, like the 90s.
Like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat.
Or, for that sort of case.
Get
too.
over here!
Okay, anyway.
And for my Twitter, if you guys want to follow me, I am at ChibiUFO, ChibiUFO. You can follow me. I talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, video games, anime, animation, whatever the hell you might be interested in, I might talk about it. So, yeah, hopefully see you there.
All right, guys. Well, that pretty much does it for us. Shout outs to all you guys for coming, and
Yeah, no problem.
I'm really glad that y'all were able to do this, especially all of you guys. Especially you, Zeke. I really thank you for joining me and seeing this movie with me and all that stuff.
Yeah, and even sorry, just want to say, not so much a final piece, but just, just to that, like, overall, even with the rough parts of the movie, I still thought the experience of seeing this in a theater with this packed house of, like, a theater, I thought it was a very, amazing experience. It's like, if you could just cap the jar and just keep that forever. That's sort of that feeling where you can, it's not so much you can never experience it again, but it's just, it's a rare feeling that you get where you're just like, wow, this is such an amazing feeling.
When I went to OhioCon, when I saw the first two movies, and when I saw this one, I felt truly among my own people.
Well, yeah, that sort of fandom reaction, we're like, wow, I actually feel this as, like, a fan.
Yeah, as much as like internet people can be like really shitty, like in real life, sometimes
sometimes it's more
always best in real life.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lot more amazing than you thought it would be. So yeah.
All right, that's the review, everyone. I hope you guys had fun listening to us, ramble on about Madoka and some other things. I know the audio was a little rough. I'm a little new at doing just pure audio editing, but I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. So with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace out, everyone.